Alright, this is actually a review I actually want to do for a while. I've owned this thing for about 4 months, I want to say. Brought it when we entered quarantine. I've had a good chance to kind of whack at it a whole lot, and find a couple of things that I found were interesting in actually hitting it. Um, One thing I did notice after putting it together and starting hitting a little bit was that the pole actually does slide up, and you'll actually see some lines if I do lift this. You'll see lines and grooves. That's not just from spinning, or this is actually from it spinning and lifting as you uppercut. There's no way to really secure it. Tighten it as tight as you possibly can. Screw it down as much as you can. Truth is, if you get a really good whack at it, and I've also have a friend that has another, it will go up. So that's something to keep in mind. Another thing, the weight. Mine is full of water. You have the ability to fill it with sand. Sand might be better with weight. As of right now, with the water, if you really get into like getting a good hook in or a good straight punch, you can knock it over. You can actually knock the whole unit over. Something I did neglect to mention about this. I have actually knocked this whole unit into my ceiling, so it came free, whacked into my ceiling, came down, no damage, no big deal. Definitely something to keep in mind though. I also ended up having to do a little repair here. The screw that was provided actually knocked out. I didn't mind it actually that much, because now this part's a little bit more wobbly, and it's a little extra something for me to mess around with and hit. So I never really complained about it too much. The biggest issue I've had, and this is just a me thing, this part right down here is actually a full unit. If you have one, you know exactly what I mean. This part right here is a full unit. For whatever reason, I was whacking it one day. I hit it with a nice little right hook, and when I hooked, the whole thing snapped down. Obviously, I was pissed off because I purchased this thing and I didn't want to have to buy another one to deal with it. But when I looked into it, I saw that there was grooves, and I'll just unscrew to show you what I mean. So this should not unscrew. This should not happen. I don't believe so. But if you look down in there, there's a snap piece of plastic and a snap piece of plastic on this end. When it broke and popped, steam came pouring out of this. I'm not sure how that happened. It must have been a lot of heat and friction or something like that, but it was like smoke coming out of this thing. But it screws back in, and as long as I am careful about paying attention to it falling out, and screw it back in every once in a while, if I'm hitting it for a couple of minutes, then it hasn't really been a big deal. So I haven't returned it or looked for another. I might look at purchasing a different bag though, maybe Ringside or someone like that, to see if the unit works a little bit better. It definitely move a little different, but great. It's actually a pretty good tool.